just want to mention a few quick things about small practice amps. When I first started out playing bass, one of my first speaker cabinets, an SWR 210. I had two Goliath Juniors, so they were two 10-inch speakers in a very compact speaker cabinet with a speaker horn. And with those, I want to say it was maybe an SM200. I also had an SM400. But I always seemed to struggle to be heard with bands I was playing with. Even a band with one guitarist, I would just get blown out because of the frequency more than anything, until finally going to the Ampeg. But with using the Ampeg came basically sacrificing my back, because not only was this thing powerful and loud, it was super, super heavy. And for years and years and years, I carried this thing around from show to show, or usually by myself. I normally would not get help from anyone to carry my bass gear. And I would also help the drummer. After a while, I got really tired of that. So I tried to find other alternatives, find a smaller, more compact practice amp. And I went back to using a 410 for a little while, and then 115. So I stuck with the 115 configuration for a while with the SVT 3 Pro and an Ampeg 115 cabinet with a speaker horn. And I got by with that for a very long time. And then I went on and got a TC Electronic, which is just super, super loud. I mean, I can't believe how loud this amp is. I still have it today. It's right behind me. But recently, I decided to start looking into getting another practice amp. And as you guys know, a lot of you have seen my video covering the Rocket Bass series from Ampeg, which is great. It has that classic Ampeg SVT sound and has a lot of power and everything. But still, I felt a little bit underwhelmed. So I kept looking, and after sitting on the fence for a very long time wondering, should I go with the Rocket Bass, I was quickly diverted by acoustic. And at the same time that I was looking to pull the trigger and buy an acoustic, a new friend of mine offered to let me use his Mark Bass 112 practice amp, combo amp, for some rehearsals. I used it and I was really impressed. But before I used it, I actually messed around with it at Guitar Center, which you're gonna see in this video here. I'm gonna show that to you. And I thought to myself, man, this thing is super loud, it's rocking the store, but how will it hold up to a full band? And if you can believe it, that Mark Bass held up really, really well with 3 guitar players and a loud drummer in the room, vocals and everything. It still held its own. I had to turn it halfway to keep up, but it still did it. It did it without breaking and crack. I mean, it did it without distorting. It kept the clean tone. I'm really impressed with those basses. I mean, those amps, those combo amps. I'm really impressed with Mark Bass. But what I'm not impressed with is the price. The price is a little too high for my taste. I would say that's the only caveat to the Mark Bass. I think that they're a little heavier than you want them to be, but they're still not, they're not back-breaking heavy, so they're still light enough to carry around to where they won't cause any back issues or anything. And they sound really, really good, but I do like the acoustic better. Anyway, I just want to let you guys see what it sounded like in Guitar Center. Enjoy. Right, this is a Mark Bass 112 bass combo amp. Let me go over or just show you the controls real quick. Pretty basic. But it doesn't sound bad. Question you may have, is the $949 price tag justified? We shall see. Let's check it out. Once again, I am on a Music Man Sterling, or whatever, Stingray Sterling by Music Man. It's an Indonesian bass. It is the same as the other ones that I've been using in the recent videos at Guitar Center. So out here working, and just figured would swing by and kill some time here and play some more amps. So here we go. Turning everything up. The volume is almost turned completely down, and as you can hear, with all of the knobs on this bass turned maxed out. Very bassy, very low end. I really feel like the new 10-inch is the 12-inch. So the 12-inch is the new 10-inch, if you know what I mean. 8-inch speakers just don't get there. So anything less than a 10-inch speaker for bass, you're really wasting your time. It's just not going to give you the low end that you need. Okay, so here we go again. I'm going to give you some more. Here we go. Wow. I totally get it now. I understand. So, not going to do a bunch of slapping, but you know, this is yeah, it's wow. Wow. I totally understand why this Mark bass stuff is so expensive now. It's on a whole nother level. But still, if you're on a budget, I think the better way to go is definitely the acoustic, which is right here behind me, which I've already covered in another video. Very impressed with this amp. For the price, it's the way I'm gonna go. But if I were still seriously gigging and doing rehearsals, I would totally be interested, or I'd be looking into a Mark bass. You know, I want to say this is probably the second time I've even played a Mark bass, but it's the first time I've ever played this particular combo, and I'm blown away by the low end. I'm still thinking there's something very, very special about these Sterling Music Man Stingray basses or whatever, these cheap ones. They are pretty damn good. While I do have one in my arsenal, I really feel like it's a fretless. I would be better off with a fretted one. So, but anyway, either way, I haven't picked up a bass here and played one that plays as good as those two Stingrays, or cheap Stingrays, that are at the Guitar Center in Marietta. Those are hands down way better. So I'm gonna play this a little bit more and then conclude this video, just wrap it up. I just turned it down just a little bit. I bumped it down to 1, so we're on 1. That's not a good E. The whole store right now, I mean, it's just filled with bass. I don't believe it, really. I just don't believe it. Wow. Good amp.